Do.
Oh, wait, check. Are we on? Are we live?
We're live.
We are live. Let's do what we do. Skibidi boop ba doo bop ba dee bop ba. Ow! The goddamn cat bit me. The come up TV. God damn it, Tony. Well, we're not even going to do it over.
Hard times.
We're going to keep it like that.
Run it.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Catfish Swagger Jagger. Down here in downtown Los Angeles with my mortal enemy, Adam Grand Mason. And
Is that where we're at?
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Sure.
Sauce the Boss with 3 S's. One of the filmers for the Common Crew. And our esteemed guest, Austin
Aughinbaugh.
You've been practicing that, haven't you?
Aughinbaugh.
I was looking at it as I was reading another interview today and just thinking about the fact that I always call you Austin Auggie.
Yeah, the Instagram name.
Do most people?
Nowadays, now that I got the Instagram name going, it's like, yeah. It's
You're kind of
Austin
rebranding
Auggie.
yourself?
Well, I was really confused this week because we did Augie Simoncini last night.
Much confusion in the group chat, yeah.
I don't know which Augie we were doing.
You did him yesterday, right?
Yes,
Yep.
we did him
So
yesterday.
2 Augies in a row.
That's
2
right.
Auggies in 2 days.
All right.
What nationality is Aughinbaugh?
If you say it like, I feel like it's like Aughenbach. It's like German.
Is it German?
It's heavily German.
So you have German roots?
I think so.
You don't know where you're
I haven't
from?
been on Ancestry.com in a minute, though.
Have
so-
you? I haven't.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
man, I'm Greek and Irish.
You've been on Ancestry.com? I mean,
but I know where
I
I'm
could
from.
ask my parents.
You guys don't know where you're from?
I know that it's German. That's all I know. And we had the German dude come stay with us in Tunte in Mo.
Uh-huh.
They came and stayed in AZ, and they said it means eye seer.
I see her.
Like
So you see
EYE.
other eyes?
I don't know. I've been told I have beautiful eyes, so I mean, maybe it's something. to
Well,
do
they're
with
nice
the
and
eyes.
blue. I get told that all the time, too, yeah.
It's a good feeling, huh?
Mm-hmm.
To have beautiful eyes.
I know. It's always made me wonder what I would do if I did not have such beautiful eyes.
It's true, right?
Where would you be
it's
at now?
a completely different world. You know,
But I know you have nice blue eyes, too.
I've got gorgeous blue
Oh, yeah,
eyes.
sauce, let's see. I
That's
have
one of
gorgeous
those things.
eyes.
Let me see your
We
eyes.
all
Gorgeous.
have blue eyes.
Dude, that's a big thing.
That's
That is
a big deal.
thing.
Hitler would take much appreciation to that.
That's like having abs or a big dick.
Abs or a big dick.
Girls love it all.
I don't have
All the
abs.
same.
Me.
No comment on the second part.
You have a small dick, I've seen.
Do you think that that's what's brought us together as podcast hosts, is that we're both well endowed?
No, it's probably just the fact that we have beautiful blue eyes. And we're
okay.
both horrible assholes.
And we both ride bikes.
And we both ride bikes.
Both
We
do crooked grinds.
No, I don't do that. We both do decades.
Actually,
Everyone's on the decades now.
fun fact is,
Decades are tight now.
the homie Tuck God just hit me up and he said, "Yo, y'all be snapping. I was just watching you on YouTube and I see Catfish doing the double decade."
See?
Yeah.
I'm out here.
Denon's been
Ki-
doing the
Denim
decade
pulled his
heavily.
first decade. Our cameraman, I'll take this thing, watch this. This guy just pulled his first decade this year. It's a movement. It's a movement.
I used to always get into arguments with different dudes on the OSS team, like circa 2010, because my argument was that the decade would at some point become not as crazy as the tail up, but very similar in the sense that like everybody would be doing it.
It's
I don't know how long it's going to take, but I feel someday the decade is going to be 100%.
I think a
it'll be
decade,
out everywhere.
and it's something like if you're doing like an up ledge feeble to decade, that's way easier than a tail up. What the hell are you laughing at?
Says who?
I don't know.
Austin.
This is the decade talk. It's
Austin, have you ever done a decade?
Austin never thought
Never
his
done a decade.
podcast would consist of a minute of us talking about decades.
About
Decades and
decades.
big dicks is what I've gotten so far.
Should we get into some Austin talk?
Let's
What do
talk-
we need to know
all
about?
right, what's the first thing you want everybody to know?
What do you want to know? I'm from middle of buck nowhere in Indiana.
Indiana,
Yeah.
hotbed for BMX.
Is it?
Yeah, there's
Is
a
it
lot
me?
of
You got Brett
Brett Banasewicz,
Sandwich. Who else is out there?
Chris Gerber,
David
Jody
Grant.
David Grant.
Donnelly.
David Grant. David Grant's actually from the same place I moved to in Muncie. So
Okay.
yeah.
Carl Pointer.
Carl Pointer.
Carl Pointer.
It's not easy being a Hoosier.
It is not. It
It's
is
actually
not.
where the first place I met Caleb Quanbeck too.
Really? What the hell was he doing out there?
He was writing for Hardcore Sports. Carl
Oh.
Pointer's shop.
Wait. Catfish rode for Hardcore Sports with a Z?
No, I'm Catfish.
No, no.
Hi, nice
No,
to
no,
meet you.
Caleb.
I'm Zach Yankish.
Oh,
My
nice.
friends call me Catfish.
I don't.
Caleb.
I think he rode for
Jesus.
the Hardcore Sports. I'm not sure, but he was out there with didn't Caleb ride for Hoffman Bikes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he was there. He was there
Ah,
with
okay.
Hoffman Bikes.
Wow.
And it was like an Eastern demo.
Nice.
And I remember just going to that and meeting Quanbeck for the first time
Okay.
in the middle of Indiana, and Carl Pointer,
And so,
and Lee Ramsdale at the same time.
Shout out to
Wow.
Lee Ramsdale.
Yeah.
How'd you get started riding?
My cousin got a like a Miraco complete, and like me and my cousin would always like do stuff together. I was like, I'm gonna get a bike, and then he got out of it, and I just stuck with it, and I was racing dirt bikes too at the time, and I got really hurt riding dirt bikes, and I was like, man, I don't want to do that I don't want to skate, so I just picked up a bike and kind of continued doing that.
Who'd you ride with initially, early on?
Skaters.
Really?
I only grew up with skaters, no riders at all.
Mike, a little closer.
Yeah. Only grew up with skaters, no riders in my hometown. Shout out Debunk and Tilo Rose, the dude that tattoos me is Debunk. They all skated, and I was kind of like an outcast at first. I'd always go to the skate park, and all the dudes would be like, "Yo, you can't do shit. Get out of here." And I'd ignore them and try to ride my hardest. And then
What made you want to ride BMX though versus skateboarding if everybody else was skateboarding?
I really don't. I was always good on two wheels for some reason. Like dirt bike riding, I was super good at just boosting jumps and just doing things like that. And like I always liked to, I don't know, I just was really good at two wheels for some reason. Four wheels was like I can skate a little bit, but not like.
Never felt as
I
comfortable.
can never see myself going down a 15-foot handrail or 15-stair handrail at all.
Oh, I can.
When is the first time you saw yourself? When is the first time you saw somebody riding BMX? Where it clicked for you, where you're like, "Holy shit!"
No
that
one.
looks awesome.
It's crazy that no one really like. I remember growing up in Marion and like riding with the skaters, and that would always go to like, they'd always go to gnarly spots, and they would huck themselves, and I would just be like on the sideline, kind of thinking like, "Oh man, I really need to get at it," and I would just try to like, I know I'd always three everything. We'd go to all the gaps we'd go to, all the stair sets. I'd be like, I'm gonna three this, and like that seemed to get the skaters hyped up. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna three this, and they'd be like, oh yeah, do it, Augie, and then and I would do it, and that was like, that's how I got super into BMX. Like my Bunker and Tilo, they would always like push me to do it and like go heavy.
What was your inspiration early on?
It's probably David. Honestly, David was like the heavy Indiana dude that was doing street. He was the biggest street rider in Indiana, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally the biggest. Just
literally.
much taller than everyone else. Yeah.
I would see him I'd see him at Anderson, see him just riding heavily, and I would just be inspired by him just because he was from my hometown. Didn't know him personally at the time, so I didn't really have that going for me. But yeah, I just would see him ride and want to ride. And then Glenn videos would always come out, and Glenn was always killing it. And like Brett, all those dudes were just like, it was more like park and street. And I'd kind of morphed over to the street-esque of it.
So what'd you do? You poked David Grant on Facebook?
Funny thing you asked. The first time I like tried to message David, like try to ride, he sent me a message back saying, "You're the most like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you. You're a little kid," or something like that. Really like
No way.
Really mean-hearted. But he didn't know me. It's like, think about it. Like you probably get Facebook messages all the time from like kids that you don't know.
Especially in Indiana, where you're getting like bottom of the barrel. I'm from Ohio, so it's like I'm even lower in the bottom of the barrel. But
nah, Ohio's sick. Ohio's okay. Scott Marcel's from Ohio.
Ohio is arguably sick.
Yeah, but yeah, that's like Indiana. David Grant was like the main reason I started like trying to do street riding. It was like seeing him at Anderson and just start riding like that, and he would just go down handrails, and that's all I would want to do is try to ride handrails, and that was the main like source when we'd go out and ride was like, oh, we got to find handrails for Augie. Even my skater buds would be like, yeah, we're not going to ride. We got to go find handrails. Like, because I would hit this 9-stair, and then they're like, oh, well, you can do this one and this one. And they would take me to these huge handrails in Indiana, and I would just have to do them.
You were that kid.
Not even that kid. It was just like my friends wanted to see me like do gnarly things. I don't know, because they would do gnarly things on boards. You know what I mean? So it's.
What was your next conversation with David after the one where he told you to fuck off?
He wouldn't really tell me to fuck off, but sort of.
Well, basically. I don't want anything to do with you.
Sort of, yeah.
Or whatever.
But I was like 15 years old. I think I was probably, I hope I've changed since then, but yeah, I was 15. And the next conversation with David was when I moved to Muncie. And he just got back on a trip, and then we just started riding. We filmed that, we started filming in Indiana. We did this AugenRAW edit. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was on the come up.
AugenRAW?
AugenRAW. He put AUGHINRAW. And like he did it to this. Shout out to David. He really did a good job filming it and like making it a good video. Except for the last clip. The gnarliest clip out of the whole video, I had to go back twice for. I had a GT stem with 2 stem bolts on it. I'm like throwing myself down this double set to drop. And we went and filmed it once. He got the crash clip. That was on the TCU Instagram for a while, too. And then we went back the next day later, and I did it. And as I'm landing it, David, like, follows me. I see me go off the rail, and then you see me drop into this corridor, and you don't see me land it. And then you just see me come up the stair set. So David kind of messed up the filming of my banger of that video. But
wow. So do you hold that against him?
No. not
of course not.
Not at all. But
talk to me a little bit about you, like a lot of us, have done the dream. You moved to California to pursue BMX.
Join the common crew.
Yeah, and you're one of the fresh ones. You haven't
new.
been here a long time.
New recruit.
What's up with that? How did that come to be? Why did you want to come out here?
Why do I want to come to Cali?
Yes.
Because I mean, everywhere anything you see in BMX right now is always Cali. Everything is involved in BMX. If you really want to make it, you really want to try to do your best at riding and try to progress at the best rate. Is you want to be somewhere where everyone's riding, everyone's doing their thing, and that's Cali. AZ a little bit too. AZ was a good part. I moved to Arizona first, so I went to growing up in Muncie. David was like, "Yo, I'm going to Arizona. Go out there." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to Muncie. I'm gonna go to Arizona," and I was doing this door-to-door sales job for a minute.
I heard about this, yeah.
And I made a lot of cheddar, dude. I made a lot of money, and I just got this big paycheck, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to Arizona." I really hate flying, so I took this train ride. It was 3 days long.
Really?
Well, it was 54 hours. So,
Wait, from Indiana to Arizona?
To Arizona.
Okay.
Because you're scared of flying?
Not now. I was at that point, so I kind of...
Did you realize that it was a 2-hour flight?
2-hour flight's a 6-hour flight.
6-hour flight from where? From Indiana?
To Arizona? It's
no
6
way.
hours.
There's no way. It's not longer than 4 hours.
Absolutely not.
No, no way.
All right, well, 4 hours.
That's
flight.
okay. I used to be scared of flying.
If you're that scared of flying, it might not matter, right?
Adam's scared of flying. That's why he
Adam's
only
not
does
scared of
ledges.
flying.
That's why he stays on ledges.
Oh, yeah, I'm scared of flying on Earth, yeah.
But no, so David left to go stay with Tony and all them at the Hotel de la Goli, which is Tony's house in Arizona. But he went out there, and I kind of just wing it. I wasn't going to stay with them at all. So I got on the train to go to Arizona. I'm on the train for 24 hours into the train ride, and I already had a place lined up off of Craigslist. I was going to stay with this dude, this tattoo artist, and then he texted me on the train ride over and says, "Yo, dude, I don't have the place anymore. Someone came and moved in." So I was on this train ride frantically trying to find a place to live. Whoa. And I found this super cheap, I was $250 for a room for a month, $250 a month. So I show up to this place. I get off the train. It's actually a bus because the train goes to Flagstaff. I took a train to Flagstaff, took a bus to Arizona, got to Arizona 6 in the morning and got a Motel 6. And then after I woke up, I went and found this place where I found off of Craigslist, and I didn't see any pictures of it or anything, but it was this trailer. And it was with this really crazy dude that
splitting a trailer with someone else.
With this old crazy alcoholic dude, and the room consisted of a bed that was already there and sheets that were already there. So I kind of winged it and just used the sheets because I didn't have any bedding at all. I didn't want to buy any, so I just slept on this guy's bed that he had in the room. There was no light switch. He had a little work lamp that hung from the wall.
Shit.
That was my light. And I had a big old Note 3 phone at the time, and I would just watch Netflix on there at night. And then I would put my bike in front of the door so he couldn't break in there.
You thought he might break in?
Well, he'd always ask me to smoke my weed. And
what?
First thing I did to get to Arizona, I bought some weed because it was I'm in Cali, the best, or West Coast, best weed.
Well, and you're only human.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, he always
Plus, weed is tasty.
Yeah, weed is okay.
From what I understand.
You could just eat a whole pile of it.
So, yeah, I would always be scared he's going to steal my weed, he's going to steal my money. So I'd always put my bike in front of the door, and then I'd wake up super early, get out of there before he woke up. Because there was literally no place I could take a shower. The bathroom was there, and that was it. And he had no floor in his kitchen, and all he would eat was Salisbury steaks.
What?
Till this day, I cannot stand the smell of Salisbury steaks.
Jesus.
Extremely dicey situation.
That's so typically American.
Would he steal a case of them or something?
He would always have the frozen one. I'd hear him pop up in the microwave, and his dog would bark, and I'd just know this guy's about to get down on some Salisbury.
Wow.
So, yeah, So I'm in Arizona, and then David's living with Tony Maloof, Westcott, and J.E. No, J.E. wasn't out there at the time, so it was Maloof, Tony. I think that was all that was. There was other people there, and Westcott was there. And I kind of I didn't know Maloof, I didn't know Westcott, and then me and David, for some reason, Tony and Westcott were on a trip, and it was just David in Arizona, and I happened to be there. So I met up with him at the skate park, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm staying at this dicey place. Let me come stay with you for a little bit," and stayed with him for 3 days, and then Maloof and Westcott came home, and I stayed with them for a couple more days, and I had to go back to the trailer, and then I would casually try to morph myself into the crew because I really hated staying with this guy. I was super depressed.
What was the guy's name?
I don't remember.
Old man Cooter.
Old man Salisbury.
Did he ever have girls over or anything?
No. He had this one little kid that not little kid, but little dude that used to stay with him before me. He's like, oh yeah, this is the ex-roommate that was just here, and they were like getting drunk off some like Sailor Jerry's in the room. And they're like, yeah, man, come drink this with us, and come smoke your weed with us, and like chill.
Come smoke your weed with us.
No, man, I don't want to kick it with you. I was really nervous and scared. I was super young. I was like 19. Like,
this does sound scary.
What was going through your mind as all that's going on? Like, what was your end game? Like,
I just
want to ride, right?
I just want to I wanted to ride the best spots and just continue doing like, I don't know. I don't want to work a 40-hour week job and do like what normal people do. I want to just do what I want.
Yeah.
And just ride my bike and just progress. You know what I mean? Like what everyone's doing out here. Everyone wants to ride their bike and do the best they can, and like.
So how did you make the move from Arizona to California?
Or did you have any, like, what was the overall, how did you end up moving out of Arizona? Was there anything dramatic?
No, yeah,
How'd it go down?
So, yeah, basically I moved into, like I said, I kind of pushed myself into the crew. I'd ride my bike like 15 miles to go find Maloof and them at the spot that David would text me at, and they would just be getting done. I was like, yo, dude, let me ride with you guys. And like,
they'd be like, no.
Well, no, I was like, yeah, I was super young, so I feel like I was kind of forward and pushy a little bit. But I got in with the crew, sticked it with them a little bit, and wound up moving in with them.
Okay.
For like, I was there for 2 months, and during that 2 months, I wasn't looking for a job. I feel like I was super immature at the time, so I wasn't like, oh, I need to get a job. I need to pay these guys rent.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, I'm gonna stay here. I'm staying with Tony Maloof, all these industry dudes. Like, I'm in it. I'm here.
How many girls did you bang in that 2 months?
None.
None?
Zero.
Well, you were focused on your riding.
Not even. I was focused on just having a place to stay that wasn't as sketchy as where I was at.
And also, if you go to Maloof's house, one time we went there and we walked in, and he goes, there's rules. We don't have girls over, and we don't go out at night.
That's not true.
He did say that at one point, though, and I thought it was funny as hell.
Not going out at night is a thing, but not having girls over is not true.
Somehow he still manages to get girls over here and there?
He has a girlfriend now.
Maloof.
Maloof has Colleen. Shout out to Colleen. She's really cool.
Wow.
He's got himself a good chick.
Congrats to him.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I basically kind of forced myself in there, and then things got a little dicey. I kind of like I said, I was an 18-year-old kid just staying on these dudes' couch. They didn't really know me, so they basically just said, "Yo, Augie, you got to get out of here." And then I got out of there. Where did I go after that? I went back home to Indiana. That's what happened. I went back home to Indiana and got some money. Went to Louisiana and worked. Actually, I worked at State Farm. Worked at State Farm. Worked all these jobs to kind of get cheddar up, and then went to Louisiana with that door-to-door job, and then came back to Arizona and got my own spot. And
you also joined the Army.
Let's hear that story.
He joined the Army.
All right. Well,
your parents made you, kind of?
Sort of, like, you know how parents are. They push you to do things that you don't want to do.
Right.
And I always had this mindset like, oh man, I have to get a job, I have to get a career, and have money saved up, and start my life, get kid, have a wife, all this stuff. Is like, nah. I don't know. They pushed me into it. I joined the Army, went to the recruiting station and whatnot, and get in there, and they're like, yeah, man, you can still ride your bike, all this stuff. Like, you just gotta join the Army. You'll do 8 weeks of basic training, and then you'll be able to ride every other day. And I was like, oh, sick.
They say whatever to get you to join, right?
They're like little salesmen, man. They got me.
Of course. But they're dealing with your life and your potential death. Yeah.
Exactly. And ironically enough, I signed the papers to be a M83 or something like that, which is a military police officer with a canine unit.
That's 3 higher than an M80.
Wow. I was thinking of the fireworks.
Everybody knows what an M80 is, so it means it's dangerous.
Right. Augie said on yesterday that he had a lot of fireworks as a kid, so let's keep with that theme.
All right, M83.
M83. So
what was the worst part of all this? Was it just horrible from the beginning once you started training?
I didn't go to basic training.
Oh,
here's where it gets so you go to this thing called MEPS, which is where you go there and you take your drug test. You do push-ups in front of all these really army-looking dudes. And first off, when you first show up there, they're really mean.
Yeah.
And break you down. I was like, dude, I'm not even in the Army yet, and you guys are hurting my feelings. Literally hurting my feelings. And
that's what they do.
Or just calling you a piece of shit and just.
Nah, it's yo, dude, they're yelling at you to do things, standing in line. I felt like I was back in high school.
Do they make fun of you for not being able to do enough push-ups?
No. You just have to do 5 to show them you can do them.
5?
Yeah, you don't have to shave your head. This isn't basic training. This is you're not in the Army yet. We're gonna test you to see if you can be in the Army.
Right.
So I'm just doing the Army thing. I joined it, got it, passed my P test. I don't know how I did that because 2 days before that, I'm smoking weed with my buds and I'm drinking this detox drink as I'm smoking. All my friends still never let me live this down to this day. Oh man.
Well, that's not how that works, right?
Yeah, I thought.
You thought that detox joint just overwhelmed everything?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna work, but hey, I passed it.
Wow.
So I got all my paperwork, and then I was supposed to ship out like in March of some sort, and then 3 weeks before that, I got this this job offer from my homie that does door-to-door sales for the security company. He's like, yo, man, I'll fly you to New York. I'll give you a place to stay. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
I just went to New York and just dipped out and didn't go to the Army.
And so, but you didn't get in trouble for this because you hadn't gone through basic training
Yeah,
yet.
it's not like going AWOL until you...
You didn't fully commit. You didn't sign the paper yet.
Exactly. And so, like, I wasn't in the Army.
But so all this was even before you moved into the trailer park with the sketchy guy in Arizona?
This is like the first thing out of high school. Like, I was like, doing this, I'm joining the Army, I'm going to get my life together, I'm going to be an upright citizen, if you will.
Really?
But it's like, I don't know. It's the best thing that ever happened to me is not going to the Army.
Right.
Like,
sure.
Realizing
For sure.
that, because everything happens for a reason. I feel like I got out to New York, I met, like going to New York, I met the shift life dudes out there.
Yeah.
You know those dudes, Grimaldo.
Grimaldo, the second time he's been brought up this week.
Anus. He always
Anals.
Anals.
Yeah.
He would always say that. But yeah, those dudes really got me back into riding heavily.
Okay.
Filmed my first edit with them. Did all that. Got to kick it with them, and then like after that, I saved up all that money and went back to Indiana, and that's when I worked that State Farm job.
Wow.
Like I was a State Farm sales agent.
Doing what kind of sales?
Like insurance sales
Wow.
at this like small office. It was like literally a career job.
So you had multiple like brushes with normalcy.
Well, yeah, it was all to the point where I just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted money. That's all I was looking for was money to get out of Indiana. So I was doing whatever it took to get out. So as I was working that State Farm job, then that same dude that got me to New York said, yo, we're going to Louisiana this year. You want to come out there? I was like, yeah, I made money last year. I'll do it this year. Went out there. And, and then when I went to Louisiana, I somehow met up with another crew, the Knollville dudes.
Uh-huh.
Brandon Guthrow, Will.
Brock Rayford's crew.
Brock Rayford's
Yeah.
crew. It's not Brock Rayford's crew. It's Brandon
He hangs
Guthrow
with
and
them.
Will's, yeah. But Brock's
He hangs
there.
with them.
But, yeah, I got into that crew. So somehow this door-to-door job got me introduced to all these crews.
Uh-huh.
And that's how that happened. And then made money there. And
Tell me about the door-to-door job.
Selling insurance door to door.
No, it wasn't insurance.
Oh.
I worked at State Farm selling insurance. The door-to-door job was security systems.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
I would
yeah.
go to these people's houses
and
like,
try to convince them that they were in grave danger.
it's so fucked up now that I think about it. And I feel bad. I'll never do that job again. But yeah, I did indeed try to sell security systems. It wasn't a scam or nothing. People got the stuff they paid for. It's like $50 a month. You get a security system. Is all it was.
Do you like sneak into their house and like stand in the living room?
Jump
and
out
when they
like-
come out, hey, I got in here.
Surprise!
Hey, you want a security system?
Nothing's stopping me from doing this.
No, it wasn't. It was just like I knocked on the door. I was like, "Hey, I'm Austin." No, it wasn't a good. Like, I regret doing that job now. I feel like a lot of bad karma points for that job just because I had to convince people, and I didn't like doing that.
Right.
I didn't want to convince people to do something they don't want to do.
But at
Sales
least
is
you're
rough.
but at least you're convincing them to do something that's actually can help them. It's not like you're convincing
It
them
could
to buy.
help.
I don't
like
think it's
a
helping them
weight
at all. By the
loss
way, I
pill
don't
or
endorse
something.
any security systems whatsoever because I think Big Brother is definitely like. Think about it. It's all wireless now, so anyone can tap into your security system. But
Oh.
let's not get on that subject.
Interesting.
I don't think
Interesting.
About that.
I think we should take it back a few years and talk about living with the Amish.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sauce, the boss over here.
Sauce the boss
Sauce
with
knows.
three
He has a
motherfucking
little
S's.
note.
With three S's.
He's been asking me all week. We've been like writing these notes down, like crazy things that happened in my life, and he's writing down over there.
Well, we got him because we only have an hour, so we want to get them all out.
So I lived with the Amish for 2 months. I got in really bad trouble in 5th grade, and my dad sent me to live with the Amish. Her name Perry and Katie Ellen was her name, and I lived with them for 2 to 3 months. I dressed like them. I went to their churches. Their kids didn't like me because they knew
Wait,
I
your
was,
parents were like, okay, that we're gonna.
Well, my parents knew them.
Okay.
They knew Katie. They knew Perry.
But they
Ellen.
sent you knowing that or thinking that they were going to rehabilitate
They're gonna
you.
change me at 5th
What
grade.
did you do in 5th
I don't
grade?
even remember. It wasn't even that bad.
You ate your boogers.
Maybe. I don't know. But no, they sent me out there and
I knew a kid in 5th grade that ate his eyebrows.
Really?
What? He would
Yes.
shave them off or
No,
what?
no, no. He would eat them. He would just
He'd, like,
sit and
pick 'em?
He would pick them and fucking eat them.
I knew
Eating
it-
hair. I never tried that.
I knew a dude in my high school that would eat his zits. He would like sit there
Oh,
and
God.
swear to God.
You ever eat scabs?
No.
I have.
Is that a
Me
thing?
too. When I was young, I don't know why, but I would get a scab and I would just eat little parts of it.
God, that's so gross.
Yeah, what the fuck was I thinking?
I used to have a fetish where I want to kiss a girl so hard that I chip her tooth and then I suck it into my stomach.
God, that's so gross.
So I always have a piece
A
of her.
fetish
Think about
that you kiss a girl so hard.
Okay.
That's not even a kiss. It's just smashing your teeth into her teeth.
Anyway, back to the Amish. All right, you did something in 5th grade. It was bad enough for your parents to banish you to Amishdom.
Yeah, Kansas.
I got to be honest. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of anybody.
Topeka, Indiana is where it was at.
Right, you send your kid to like a private school, to a Catholic school,
Yeah,
maybe
or like
military
or like
school.
a scared straight.
Did your parents agree with the Amish on their religious views? Were they
I think
anti-technology?
Did you do something so bad that they thought long and hard about where? Like, did you steal electricity or something? Like, that's why they're like, we have.
This is the only appropriate
We
punishment.
want to show him what it's like to not have electricity.
We're gonna give him the electric chair.
Scamming people on the internet.
That's a little bit odd, you know.
No, I mean my dad was really good friends with him for some reason. I don't know how. He's friends with everyone, dude.
This might be weirder than Augie getting the ducks for revenge.
What? I didn't get to finish the Auggie.
Oh
but,
yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, he sent me there to live with them for 2 months. I dressed like them, fully immersed in their community. Went to their church. The kids, after you do Amish church, you don't, you get to eat a bunch of food. And the kids would not let me eat the food.
Why?
Because I was a fraud. I wasn't a real Amish.
They knew this.
They knew it. They just like, how this kid all of a sudden show up in this family life, and now I'm here. And yeah, live with them. I actually got to drive like Clydesdale horses, like 8 Clydesdale horses. Like this Amish dude's on this like hair, and he's like, "Yeah, man, Austin, grab this." And like he gets back to fix the hair. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm in control of these 8 horses. Like never controlled.
This is a
horse in my
TV
life.
show. This is a real TV
There are
show.
many TV
Did
shows.
you bang
like
any
this,
Amish girls while this was going on?
It's funny you say that. No, I didn't bang any Amish girls at 5th grade. I did not, but I did tell this girl I loved her. And I guess in the Amish community, that's super like frowned upon, and it caused a whole ruckus in the community.
Why? They don't know what love is.
I told her I wanted to marry her, to be exact. I said, I'm going to marry this chick.
Were you just sort of speaking the language that was around you at that time? Because they probably don't say like, "Hey, I want to fuck you." They say like,
Yeah.
"Let's get married. We're
Yeah.
gonna get married one day."
Well, I said, yeah, I want to get married.
Were they
speak
Amish
English.
or were they Mennonite?
No, they're Amish, fully Amish.
So they didn't use electricity.
No electricity, but he did have a pager, and like anytime the pager would go off,
Of course.
he had a pager, and I would try to bring it out to him when his friends was over one time, and he's like, "Austin, take that inside right now," and like made me take the pager inside because it's heavily against their religion. So.
That's such bullshit. If there are any Amish kids out there listening to this right now, fuck you.
You're definitely the first person we've had on the show that has been raised by the Amish.
I was never raised by the Amish.
You lived with them for 3 months.
Okay, we'll say 3.
And you slept there?
I slept there.
You went to church with them?
I went to church.
You broke bread with them?
Would you say it was?
You were raised by the goddamn Amish.
Were you living in an Amish paradise? No.
No, I mean, actually, it wasn't that bad. I got the swimming ponds, all that stuff.
Can you push the foreskin on your mic up onto it? Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
like a condom?
I don't know if it makes
It
a
doesn't
difference
matter.
in how
No,
it sounds.
it's just annoying Adam.
Is that better?
Yeah,
I just
Adam
see it
likes-
hanging there, and it reminds me of a fucking foreskin dick like
Adam
yours.
sees phallic things near men's mouths.
Anything that goes, that's
It has
sexual
be
to you?
perfect
This is
for him.
sexual?
Wow, the way you were just doing it there, yes.
Do you have any bisexual stories about Adam?
No.
Wow, actually, I
No
just
comment.
thought of a crazy ass story
Okay,
involving Austin.
Well, we won't talk about that.
It wasn't really involving you. It was involving me and a girl and us being. Well, I'll just tell the story. Is that basically I went out with this girl. We were out so late, and she gave me something. I'm not going to elaborate on
my
what,
God.
but we were up until.
Wait. Like, okay. Like,
Yeah, she gave me
okay.
something, and we were up till like 10 o'clock in the morning having intercourse, and then I hear a knock on my door, and it's Austin, and he's like, "Yo, do you still want to go to the rail jam?" And I was like, yeah, but I still haven't gone to bed yet. Let me just take like an hour-long nap, and then I'll go. And he goes, you don't have time to take an hour-long nap. It's starting like right now, so I had to go to this contest and like
The ham.
Yeah,
It was a
and I had to
ham
like
jam.
hang out without having slept with this.
And he came.
And you had no ejaculate in your body.
No.
Probably drained, if I had to guess. Yeah.
What's the craziest sexual thing you've ever seen in your entire life?
Literally the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life sexually
Yes.
was probably the Adam 22 Snapchat from Vegas. No lie.
There it is.
I mean, the craziest thing I've ever done. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my.
That's the craziest thing I've ever been involved in, to
I
be
don't know
honest.
how you get yourself in those situations. Honestly,
He's
That
got
was
neck tattoos and the blue eyes. The blue
Twitter
eyes.
and the followers is all it is. The girls see the followers and like, oh, let me drop my pants.
That's what Catfish always blames on followers and neck tattoos.
No, it's his beautiful blue eyes. They're stunning.
If
They're
it was
good-looking
that,
blue
then
eyes.
we'd all be getting laid that much. So, well, not that I'm getting laid that much.
That's true. Well, Adam lies a lot to these women.
You always say I'm a liar.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
do.
think I
You're
don't
like,
think I have that
I've been
reputation.
around. I've been around. You're like, girl, I'm gonna take you to breakfast tomorrow.
That might be true. Breakfast is
Yeah.
about all I could do. Yeah.
But you never take him to breakfast.
Unless we
That's-
got to go riding in the morning, and then the breakfast thing is on the outside.
Riding always takes priority.
Exactly.
Austin, you know Adam. You've known Adam for a while.
Let's make this all
If
about
we
me,
didn't know, if we were sitting at a table with a bunch of Latvians, and they said, Austin, tell us a crazy Adam 22 story.
I had to tell you a crazy Adam 22 story.
outside of the Vegas Snapchat, something that you've witnessed with your own eyes.
I don't.
He stayed at my house for a couple of weeks, but I'm not sure I did anything that crazy.
It was
around
the
him.
ham. Honestly, the ham in parties was pretty crazy. Just, I mean, we didn't. Adam doesn't really do anything crazy. Like, I mean, he does, but it's not like he lives like this automatic crazy life.
It's just that I'm with a lot of girls.
Yeah, it's
like hanging out with a lot of
exactly.
girls. That's pretty much the only crazy thing.
So
How many girls have you banged?
I don't know. I don't keep a list. Like
We gotta
some
start
people I
asking
know.
everybody.
Who keeps a list?
Me.
You keep a list?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your list?
You've
Vicente,
seen it. I've sent it
Vicente
in the
keeps a
group
list
chat.
too. Also, Vicente keeps a list.
Vicente
You know
keeps
about
a
it
list.
too.
I saw
your name on
I saw
there
the list. I saw
Vicente
that.
told me he was
My
gonna
name's
come
on
here.
Vicente's list?
with
No,
next to it.
no. Yeah, oh, well, yeah. My girlfriend's roommate.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I
she
made out with her.
listens.
But yeah, I don't have any that crazy. I don't have any that crazy stories for Adam 22.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen, period, in your life?
in my life?
Yes.
Damn, that's a heavy question. I don't
That's
know.
why we're here at the Come Up TV.
Heaviest
get
thing,
shot.
Heaviest thing I've ever seen in my life was when I got robbed at gunpoint in Louisiana.
Wow.
Talk
To my
about
head.
it. Tell us about it.
So basically, I wasn't able to like make a living selling securities at first when I went to Louisiana.
So you started robbing people.
No. I
Oh.
had a man. Why is weed such a big topic in this podcast? But I had
That's
a little
all
bit of
we
weed.
do.
I had a little bit of weed, and I was gonna sell it to this guy, and I didn't know anything about it. I was young, stupid, and he came to my apartment. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll take it." Next thing I know, I had a gun to my head, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna take this from you, and you ain't gonna be out here no more."
For how much weed?
Verbatim. It was like an ounce. But to make this fair, I don't smoke that much weed anymore. It was like younger days of me. So he put a gun to my head and said, "Austin, you ain't gonna be out here no more." And
Wow.
basically, I think it was gang related, and I didn't really know at the time. So I'm never. Yeah, I don't ever
Did
want
you
to do
think
that again.
that was it when he pulled the gun on you? Did you think that was...
I didn't think I was gonna die, but instantly went to my head was my little brother's gonna think I died in a drug deal, and I'm a shitty person for that. And that's what I thought in my head, but. Obviously, I've learned from my mistakes and never ever do that again. So
Yeah, that's
Well, he wasn't going to think that. You almost did die in a drug deal.
now it does. I guess I kind of fucking
Jesus.
yeah.
So,
How about-
okay.
How about your first sponsor?
Unknown Sports.
Unknown Sports.
So this dude in Indiana it's like this. It's this little shop in Anderson, Indiana. It's called Unknown Sports, and this guy like somehow sponsored me, and he bought me a frame, right, and then took me to Jomo Pro. You guys know what Jomo Pro
Oh,
is,
yeah.
I
right?
remember it.
I went
yeah.
to jail. I went to jail at a Jomo Pro.
Why?
Didn't give you a frame. He bought it for you.
Yeah, he bought me a frame. Literally took me to the FBM website, and I bought a frame. I was heavily in the FBM at the time, and bought me an FBM frame. Took me to Jomo Pro and put me in the pro class. This dude Nick Crunchy and which we are street riders, I mind you, and took us there and put us in the pro class. And I said, "Yo, man, I don't know what to do. I can't ride this at all. I don't ride park." And these dudes are like Daniel Darris was there. I'm in their class with
I
them.
was announcing that contest. I remember this.
And they call my name, and I just went to the biggest gap I could find and just 360'd of it to flat.
You have to find this footage.
And it worked.
And it worked. That's all I did. And I didn't win nothing, obviously, but that's like all I did. And then after that, I was like, "Yo, this dude's whack," and I quit. And then next thing I know, 2 weeks later, he's like, "Hey, man, can I get that frame back?" I was like, "No, I need this frame. I'm riding it. You bought it for me." He's like, "Well, I'm going to come beat you up and take it from you."
Wait, who said this?
This guy
Oh, the guy
From Unknown
from
Sports.
Unknown Sports, who is a skate/bike shop who sponsored me.
So
And
a sponsorship to a threat of
So,
violence.
look,
Wow.
so I'm sitting in my high school, and he's like, "Yo, I'm going to come to the skate park and beat you up and take your bike." I was like, "Well, you can come, but you're not taking my bike."
Because you got to fight me and the principal.
And no, we arranged it to where he's going to come to my skate park, my local skate park, and I texted all my friends, and there was literally the most people I've ever seen at the skate park at the time, ever. And everyone's just there to see me fight, and which is pretty pathetic if I think of it. But he drives all the way from Anderson, Indiana, which is 45 minutes, and
For a fight.
for a fight and to get his frame back. He has his wife with him and two of his homies that he thinks are gonna like.
This is why you
With
don't
a
want to live.
teenager.
This is Indiana. Right
With a
here.
teenager.
This
This is
is
why
why
you don't
you
want to live in the
I'm
middle of
like,
the country.
I'm like 17 at the time.
How
not
old is he?
18. He's like 35. 40. And he's like super skinny, like lengthy dude. I really thought he was gonna beat my ass. Honestly.
Oh, my
I was
God. What's
scared.
his name?
Joe Miller.
Joe
Miller, you need to get your fucking priorities in check. What the hell is wrong with you, Joe
So
Miller?
Joe Miller shows up.
He shows up to the skate park. I'm scared for real. I'm leaning against his car, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm leaning against his car, and he walks up. He has two of my friends that he thinks are gonna beat me up with him, but I shake up with him as soon as they show up. And he walks up with his wife, and he's like, "I want to beat your ass." And he swings at me. And I just remember ducking, never being in a fight before in my life, and ducking and like picking him up and just like punching this dude as much as I could. I kind of felt bad because I felt his like face like kind of morph in my hand.
Oh, you love morphing is the best.
And I was
That shows you did a good
I was like,
job.
oh my god, there's blood and everything. Like he gets up, he's all bloody, but mind you, before he got up, his wife came and monkey pawed me in the face. She comes out of nowhere. So I'm on top of this dude, like beating him up. I'm like, oh man, this kind of sucks. I don't like this. I don't like beating people up. And out of nowhere, his wife comes and just goes, yeah, and just punches me in the face with her palm.
Because people in the middle of the country are taking karate classes and learning how to do that.
It's the Midwest, baby.
They're breaking boards. That's how it goes.
I didn't even know that was called the term monkey paw.
That's what I called it ever since then. So monkey paw.
That's
Is that
hilarious.
official or is that yours?
That's my name.
Oh, I'm going to use that from now on.
Copyright.
I think it might be a
Monkey
palm striking.
Palm strike.
Karate.
So yeah, he does that, and I beat him up. He doesn't get the frame back. He tries to pull it from me, and as he's like, I say no, I keep it from him. I get it from him. All that ends, and as he's leaving, I'll never forget this. He goes, "I'm gonna fuck your mom with your own hand," and then gets in the car and pulls away. Never seen him since then.
Literally twice your age, and that was his last line.
That was his last line. Never talked to the dude since then. Seen him at the park. Oh shit! And he actually paid a dude. I went back to Anderson Skate Park. It's crazy. I remember this now. Paid this dude on a motorcycle to beat me up at the skate park.
At a later date.
At a later date, I show back to Anderson, and this guy in a crotch rocket pulls up and starts like walking around the park, and he like gets close to me. I'm like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, what's up?" And I try to ride away, and all of a sudden I'm picked up and slammed on my head. And I don't remember much until the cop came and put me in cuffs and put me in the back of the car, until I could like tell the dude that I didn't do nothing wrong, and everyone had to tell him. But
Holy shit.
He hired an assassin.
he got it. Yeah.
That didn't take your bike,
Did
though,
they
right?
catch that guy?
Nah, the guy took off on a motorcycle, but they thought I was like making lies up about this dude doing it because that Joe Miller showed up after that. I was like, this guy like paid him to beat me up.
This guy's like
damn
a
it,
Suge Knight of the
Joe
BMX
Miller.
scene, huh?
Such an asshole. Man.
Kept your
What
bike,
an
though, right?
asshole.
No, I got my bike back.
Yeah, okay.
No one got my bike.
Wow.
So after you joined the UFC, you started getting tattoos because you're a savage.
You
and
joined the UFC?
No, I don't know where Sas is getting this from.
You want to fight, whatever.
That's just insane that you're
You
the man
started.
sponsored. He believed in you enough to sponsor you.
And I liked
And
him.
then down the road, he hired somebody to beat you
Like
up.
a week later.
But the only
On a
reason-
motorcycle.
But the only reason why I quit was because he put me in the pro class. I was like, yo, just put me in AM class. I don't want to do this. And he's like, no, you're fucking doing it. I was like, no, I'm not.
Wow.
How's his company doing these days?
No longer. I don't know. He got arrested for stealing money from the shop.
Well, he
From,
sounds like a
'cause he got-
criminal
yeah.
mastermind. He's
Really?
hiring assassins. He's driving all over the place to commit violent acts.
That's Indiana.
That's
That is
Indiana gangsters, I guess.
So now you're a savage. You want to fight. You start getting tattoos.
You've won a fight.
Specifically one on your foot.
The tattoos.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Meadows.
Mr. Meadows.
What tattoos on your foot?
It's a high school teacher. He's a teacher I had in high school who was like a total like super kind of young teacher that came into our high school and was a really big dick to me for some reason because I didn't like authority, I guess. So I wouldn't treat him with respect because he was a big dick. And senior year rolls around and like everyone's like, what should you do for the senior prank? And I was like, literally, that dude hates me so much. I would get his face tattooed on my foot and do the senior video with it if you guys pay for it. And I don't know what sparked it, but everyone like gets up and just starts going around the classes and raises more money for this tattoo in 30 minutes than they did the whole week for the Katrina fund or some hurricane fund that we were doing. And yeah, we got all the money was there. Like, Augie, you have to do this now. So we go to the tattoo shop, have the teacher's face off the site, and
This was supposed to piss him off?
dude. So you don't know how much this guy. I was like his arch nemesis.
If you got a tattoo on my face, even if you hated me, I would be.
yeah, you would be.
That's
stoked.
awesome.
Tell us
I'm
about the
immortalized.
teacher a little bit.
So-
What's his deal?
I don't know what his deal is. He
I mean,
just has
what's
this, like,
his name? What does
his
he
name
look
is
like?
Mr. Andy Meadows. Can I just say Andy Meadows? I don't. Andy Meadows.
He's a private persona.
Who would
but-
play Andy Meadows in the movie? What does he look like?
Who would pay? Who's the biggest dick you've ever met in your life? And not
Catfish.
Andy Meadows.
No, like, what famous actor would play him in the movie?
I feel like what's the dude from Dirty Harry?
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood could be a really big dick. I bet.
Oh,
He'd be
God
like-
damn it. Yeah,
he'd
that's
just
a
be
good
like,
one.
Wow, so he was like
Fuck
a
that
real
guy.
like.
He was
Fuck your
young,
teacher.
but he was
you
young.
put him in my mind now.
But he was young.
Fuck that
So
guy.
I got his face tattooed on my foot and like put it in the senior video and basically made him super pissed off at me and never. He was so angry at the whole situation. He hated the school for it. He walked out of the graduation ceremony for it. So
Wow.
it was. I was gonna get it covered up, but I was like, I look at that tattoo and it reminds me that
Yeah, no, keep that for life. Fuck that guy.
will never be a dick in my life after looking at my foot. Like I don't ever want to be a dick to somebody.
That kinda guy.
That kind of guy, man. It's like
Wow.
how can you go through life like that?
Yes, he's in Indiana.
He is in Indiana.
And now I'm picturing this guy as Clint Eastwood, so he's like incredibly handsome
What kind of
and
car does he drive?
talented. And
What kind of
it's
car does he
just
drive?
I didn't get into
scarier.
that.
Gran Torino.
Hopefully.
No.
Seen
No,
that movie?
I didn't get into that much detail, but
Orange Hummer.
I do still have his face tattooed on my foot. His name is Meadows, and if he ever watches this, I hope he does. I just want to say, fuck you.
If you're a YouTube kid and you're watching this, write "fuck you, Mr. Meadows" in the
Yeah,
comments.
if anybody from Oak Hill High School sees this, just please know that Andy Meadows is not a good person.
Well, at least we got that out of the way.
Well, there you go, Mr. Meadows.
Important PSA.
On to other things. Let's talk about California for a little bit. You
All
made
right,
the
yeah.
move out here.
I'm here.
What do you think about Cali? How do you
I mean-
describe it to people, to riders all over the world that want to come here?
Well, I came out here. When was it, Sauce? When I came out here and stayed with? Did I stay with you last time? The Common Dudes for a little bit.
Stayed with me
Adam.
almost every time.
Stayed with Adam for a little bit, and yeah, I realized like if I really want to try to make BMX like my passion in my life, I have to be here.
Right.
Which everyone knows that. Like,
Yeah.
California is the spot to be. So I went back home to Indiana and again worked another cubicle job, and I saved up a bunch of money, and then came back out here again. Now I'm here, but it's like I don't know, man. California is the best place. I feel at home here. I feel like the beach.
What are some
friends.
big differences between Indiana and California?
Are you kidding me?
The
Well, I'm asking you.
the sponsors aren't going to track you down and beat
Yeah,
your
no
ass.
one-
Outside of the beach,
Well,
because people want to know this.
Well,
What,
like
describe
Indiana,
like the
you
spots?
can't- it's hard to really get exposure in Indiana, except unless you're Glenn Sailors and David. I mean, you got to be a pretty heavy killer,
Yeah.
which I'm not
Rest in
saying.
peace, Glenn.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, you have to like. I don't know. I didn't really know how the industry worked in Indiana. You know, I kind of just was out there riding my bike, trying to do the best I can, which is still what I'm doing now.
Right.
But I kind of have a keen sense on.
Out here, you figure out like
Yeah.
how
Well, you
you
learn.
might get in with
Even-
companies and media companies
Exactly.
and whoever you need help from.
Even staying with you guys last time I was with you guys, I learned so much. Like I feel like I've changed. I went back home to Indiana, had like a more of like a change almost, and came back here, and I feel like I've learned so much over the years. Even staying with you guys, staying with Sauce, you learn so much and you change.
Well, when you
for
hang
the
out with BMXers who aren't part of the industry, sometimes they end up with a sort of strange like version of what is going on
Yeah,
in
they
the industry
think
because
they understand,
they're getting
like,
all
oh,
their information just from a blog or from what they see on social media,
Yeah.
and then you see those people sometimes on Instagram or whatever talking about the industry, and you're just like, oh god, like you fucking really don't know
You
what the
are
hell's
so
going
wrong.
on.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
it really is. It changes so much when you come to Cali. The industry,
It's all around you.
riders,
It's everywhere.
it's
yeah.
everywhere. Literally, this is the place to be if you really want to make BMX your life, which is what I'm trying to do. I don't have any other desires. I don't want to be some cubicle zombie. I'd honestly rather die than to be a 40-hour work job zombie. You know, because
It's a bold statement.
what's the point though? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? You're gonna work your 40-hour week job and make a paycheck to go out on the weekends?
Yeah, unless
what's
you're
the
able to
point?
Have fun.
fit
Keep-
your passion in
have fun.
around it. you know?
fun.
I'd rather put all I have into one thing that I love and hopefully succeed in it. And if I don't, then what have I lost? You know, nothing.
Yeah.
You pretty much you're back where you started.
Can you tell us about going on that S&M trip?
I can tell you about the Mexico trip. It was so Dylan hits me up and says, "Hey man, I need a place to stay." This was when I was living in Arizona. He's
Mhm.
like, "I need a place to stay. I have a couple of the S&M dudes with me.
Right,
A couple
a couple.
S&M dudes." And then all of a sudden he's like, "Okay, I'm here in Arizona. We have a lot of S&M dudes with me. Hoder was with them. Hobie, the new dude from S&M.
Right.
Chewy, Charlie. No, Charlie wasn't with him. No, maybe he was with him. Sorry. Yeah, Charlie was with them, and
Craig.
then Dylan. Craig. I don't think Craig was with them.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So yeah, they're all. No, Craig was with them. Shit. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. But yeah, Craig was with them. Everyone was with them. The whole S&M team, and they show up. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I never had a team stay with me,
Especially a
the
team with Hoder.
with Hoder. So they stay with me for 3 days, and I'm working at this like restaurant, and they stay with me. We're getting drunk, and all of a sudden, me and Dylan start talking like, "Yo, did you just come on this Mexico trip with me?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." Day goes by, and then the day before we leave, so I quit my job. I'm going on this S&M trip, but the day before we leave, Hoder and Dylan like. They're just getting a little rowdy. The whole place gets rowdy in my house, and I was kind of had like salty terms about that. But we go on the trip. Like I'm kind of like on a platform right now with them at this point because I'm like, man, these dudes kind of like disrespecting my house, but they really didn't at the time. I kind of had a different mindset at that time, but I was like,
What were they doing to disrespect it?
I think Hoder and Dylan almost got into a fight for something. It was just drunken tomfoolery. It wasn't
Right.
like no like hard
happens,
feelings.
though.
It happens.
They
There's a
have
lot
been
of
known to do
casualties
that
with the
in
drunken
Yeah, when you
tomfoolery.
get
you know?
drunk-
Especially those two, Dylan and Hoder together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Dylan. Hoder's a fucking great dude too, but it's just like, you know, the booze takes a hold, and like it almost broke my window. And I thought my roommates were pissed the whole time, but they weren't. That was just my mind telling me that they were. But yeah, so I go on the Mexico trip, and I think I was kind of caught up like, oh, I'm on this trip with all these dudes, like I'm in it now, and like I kind of had this like weird like thing. I'm gonna do like the hardest tricks. I'm gonna call out stuff. I think I called out some things I shouldn't have called out and made myself kind of look like a fool. But I realize now, you know, you make mistakes, you change them. That's how people get better. And like, I made some mistakes on that trip, and I feel like I've grown from that. But yeah, like the S&M trip was crazy. We stayed at Alex's house from All Day BMX.
Shout out to Alex.
Such a great dude too, man. He put up the whole S&M team in his house. All of us are on the floor, and his wife is upstairs. And she would make us breakfast in the morning. She would take us to breakfast. Like he's seriously a really good dude.
Yeah. Is it true that your Mexico experience was extremely sketchy?
Yes.
What's the craziest shit?
I remember the van breaking down in this like super. So we're on the border city. So when we think about Mexico, people think like, oh, Cancun. I don't know if Cancun's in Mexico, but
well, they think about being on like a little island or whatever. Like, you're not in the middle of some shit.
We're literally in like the sketchiest part of Mexico, and this the van breaks down, and we're there. And it's like we see people just driving by and like all tattoos on their face. And we have Hoder with us who has like Northwest tattooed on his face, on his neck.
I could see that not going over well in Mexico.
I feel like in Mexico people might think that's like a gang thing.
Some reason to shoot you, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just super sketchy. We're broke down there and we're drinking beers, and like Alex's brother was with us, and he's like, "Oh no, it's cool." And they're like sitting inside at this like local gas station. We don't understand why, but like after we got the van rolling again, they were like, "Yeah, man, that was a really bad neighborhood. Like you're lucky you didn't get jumped." And yeah, it was super scary.
Wow.
But yeah, we went to strip clubs there, which is nothing like I want to experience again. And Mexico is not a place I want to go back to, honestly, unless I'm going to the
Mexican
islands.
strip clubs are sketchy.
Yeah.
I've had some of the best and the worst experiences
Oh
in
my
my
god!
life.
I can only imagine what
you
have
can't
been through
even
in
go
Mexico.
down. That's a whole nother.
Oh my god!
episode
Yeah,
for
that
real,
would be
though.
another episode.
Yeah.
I would end up in court if I told some of my Mexico
Are you ever going to do
stories.
an episode?
Yeah, maybe when my edit comes up.
We'll bring our
Crooks and peg chinks?
We will bring our group text in here, and we'll all grill Adam and get the nitty.
That would be the best views on your. I mean, honestly.
I want to do it. I was going to do number 22, and then that came and went, and now I'm just thinking like when my video part.
Are you really dropping a video part?
His video parts. Even though I hate him,
I got him.
his
I got like a
video
minute
Is it
and a
fire?
half.
It's fire. A lot of people are going to be really
It's
surprised.
very close to the ground.
I still, to this day, cannot do downside peg chink, so.
I did that whole how-to thinking that a lot of people were going to learn it. I don't think I really. I might have saw some people learn it, but not.
I didn't watch that
Not
yet. I
really.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to watch it.
I thought everybody was going to learn it because to me it's not that hard. But then I
It's so
barely
hard.
saw anybody
It's
learn it
so
on Instagram
hard.
or whatever. Yeah.
It's so hard.
What do we need to ask him before we replace him with Denim and quiz Denim about because we are 47 minutes in.
47 minutes in.
The largest woman you've ever had sex with.
Wow.
That's a real question.
That's a real question we spoke about earlier.
So, yeah, I got really drunk at freshman year of high school, and I was really severely drunk. And I wake up next to this 3+.
3+.
Wow.
300. Jesus.
300.
It
She was
happens.
big. She was big. And,
you're a
yeah,
freshman.
just-
You're a freshman.
I was a freshman, and I had sex with a 300-pound chick. And I don't regret it, you know?
And
It's
if you
life.
learning
Experience.
you did something good.
Experience.
Martin Luther King said not to discriminate.
No way. I don't discriminate.
And that's very important to me.
Sauce licked a masseuse's asshole in China when he was 16 with braces.
Truth.
That is a fact.
That is a fact.
That's
Not
a fact.
gonna deny that.
What's your favorite food?
Mac and cheese.
What kind of mac and cheese?
Plain mac and cheese. Just mac and cheese.
What, like that your mom makes or like from
I
a
don't know.
packet or
I don't
something?
like the packet shit. I like,
Okay.
I don't know, Annie's mac and cheese, the organic kind.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
fucks with organic.
What's your favorite trick?
Iced tires.
Ice tires. I'm just kidding. I knew he was gonna say
What's
that.
the story with iced tires? Because as soon as I left the house, Brandon Began said, you got to ask him about the iced tires.
I just did one at the
Hey, can
Ham
you
Am.
watch out? I think you took
Oh yeah. Is it good? We good?
I'm listening. I have to
So-
pee.
Make sure
Really
it's
bad.
pushed
Just
in.
keep talking. I have to pee.
I
Okay.
did that. I did the Ham Am jam. I did the ice tires there, and I was like, man, I really like this trick. So I don't know. I called ice tires on everything.
You think you called that on too many things?
Yes.
Was it just because it was an easy trick for you for a period of time?
Yes.
Is it not an easy trick anymore?
No, I can still do it. I still do it, but it's not as easy.
So if you go to Subrosa Street Rail, there's a strong chance you're going to be doing the iced tire ride?
yes. But yeah, that was pretty much. Yeah. That was the ice
Can you
tires.
tell us about this recent video that you dropped on Dig that was pretty blazing hot?
Yeah. Went to the Street Series. I did the Street Series thing. I had a lot of hype from that. Met David Leap from Dig, and
Right.
we were like talking at this bar one night. I was like, "Yeah, man, like I dig you, dig sick. You should come out there." And he was really into the idea, and I think winning Street Series kind of helped me get to that aspect with him. So he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm down to come out there." And like, I guess Leap doesn't really do that. Doesn't really leave Chicago. He always goes out of country and stuff. So I was really honored that he came out to Indiana and like took the time, stayed with me the whole weekend in Indiana, and went to all these spots. Went to my old high school. Went to a lot of places. It was crazy, and just kind of like did my thing. Got to ride with them, and then Francis filmed some stuff. Francis Castro, he filmed some stuff out here in Cali, and then this dude Grant who skates out there in Indiana, because I guess Indiana only has skaters. That's the only thing I kicked it with when I was there was skaters. So yeah, then Francis and Grant combined their stuff together, put it on Dig, and that's what it is now. So I was
pretty dope. There's some heavy moves in there.
I was pretty hyped, man. I honestly, like, the spot selection's kind of subpar out there in Indiana because there's not really a lot. You know, you got to kind of travel far distances, and that was the
colleges,
high schools. Yeah. So I was at Ball State, which is like the main source. But
I saw that David Leaf said that you renewed his faith in BMX.
I don't know what I was really like touched by that. I'm glad he said that, but I don't know. I just want to ride and just have a great time on my bike.
Augie's fun to ride with.
Well, maybe that renewed his faith. I don't know what the state of his faith was, but
maybe he was just like put off by BMX at some point, in his life, and now maybe I did it.
And you rejuvenated that.
Yeah, I just honestly
much like the Amish rejuvenated you in the fifth grade.
Turned you into a decent human being.
See?
Yeah,
it's all cyclical.
Yeah, it all comes back around.
Have you ever thought about being an Amish person for Halloween?
No, I'm going to do it this year now.
Have you ever thought about being an Amish person for the rest of your life?
No.
Okay.
That is the worst lifestyle I ever want to live. But yeah.
It's just funny that we've all seen it, like from going to Pennsylvania and everything like that, but then you actually lived this for a period of time.
Went in the buggies, everything, man. They hate, honestly, if you ever
your
become...
parents, and I'm not judging you or your parents' choices, but to me, that's a little bit extreme. Did they ever do anything else extreme to any of your other family members?
So, no. I live with my grandpa for a minute, and they're super Christian, which, cool. I'm glad you guys are into that stuff. But I bought a cult shirt one time, and remember the cult shirt that said Satan Returns on it?
Sweet
the
Jesus.
Times cult Satan Returns?
Right.
Got it in the mail. My grandpa opens it and cuts it up into strips, and then manages to lay it perfectly in line in the driveway. So when I pull in, I see like the cult T-shirt. I'm like, oh, sick. My grandpa just laid it out to show me. Cool. No, it was literally cut into pieces. I pick it up. I'm like,
and it just disintegrates.
And I saved up like two lunches for it because my dad would give me lunch money, and I was like, I'm not gonna.
Cult shirt is $20
like,
right there.
$20. I'm gonna get this shirt. Sick. And then next thing I know, it's
fucking grandpa.
That's smart. That's a cool method.
He did give me $20 back. I got to get the $20 back, and I did not order the shirt again.
I appreciate the theatrics. Like imagine if he was filming his son run up to pick up the shirt, and then it's just cut into streamers. I know that's just hilarious.
I love him to death. He's a good dude, but sometimes he's a little bit extreme.
Well, my dad took my like NWA CD when I was in like 5th grade, and he smashed it with a hammer.
Well, that makes more sense than I guess not. Satan Returns, NWA.
It was a little bit more blunt force. You know, it was like he just destroyed it with a hammer. You know, cutting it into strips like that, that's genius stuff. This is good.
He definitely did it well.
Because you can't sew that.
I appreciate the theater. Well, you could.
Shout out to Grandpa.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Honestly, I hope I'm out of here. I hope I'm traveling the world and just riding my bike with my friends. Because I don't want to be in America much longer. I kind of want to just keep riding. Hopefully some things work out riding-wise for me, and I can just continue to do it and support companies that I back. And if when that happens, I'm going to put everything I have into it and just kind of just go for it. I want to just, honestly, a good example of what I want to do is what Reed's doing right now. Reed was just in Barcelona, he's just in France, you were with him in Greece.
Traveling his ass off,
he's doing like my dream, and that's heavy. I back that dude so heavy, like he's killing.
And that's the thing with BMX too, that a lot of riders, especially young riders, don't realize is that because of social media, it makes it so easy to do that.
Yeah.
Like Reed is following the Brad Sims blueprint, where it's, I want to go to Slovenia. I'm going to go on Facebook, see what riders are in Slovenia.
Exactly.
Hey, can I come stay on your couch? Yes,
I think he's doing it more. He's doing it more organized. He's like staying. I don't know who he's staying with France right now. What, Luc Legrand? Is that who he's with in France? Yeah. So
and do that while you're young, because once you get older, it gets harder to go stay with random people, because eventually at some point you start to hate everyone, which is the issue that I have.
Very true. Very true.
I just
not hate, but it's you get more into a routine. It's hard to just take off for a month. Gavin seems to have no problem with it.
Yeah, you've been killing it too. I'm trying to live that lifestyle.
I love traveling,
and I just want to I don't want it to be stuck in one place. Like we only have this one life, so why not try to travel as much as possible and try to see as much things. What's it gonna hurt?
Exactly.
All it's gonna do is expand your perspective.
Denim just came back from Barcelona, dude. Get in here, Denim. Sauce isn't talking.
Yeah. Do we want to sub out?
This is your deal. I'm
I'm just kidding.
Go for it. You want to get in
Do we
here?
want to swap Austin for Denim or Denim for
Austin.
Augie? Because if we're going to swap you out, then we need to do the official like little wrap up with you before we bring Denim on to ask him.
Well, I think we should wait. Let's wait a week or so, and we can do the common
And
guys.
then
Oh, you want to do a separate one?
I
with
think
them?
we should
Okay.
do it with the common guys.
Oh,
yeah,
fair enough,
because
yeah.
we
Because
have a very
honestly,
special
the
guest
common
here.
dudes have the craziest stories. Also, I don't know if you guys know, we just went to El Toro.
I heard.
When was this?
Holy shit!
Yesterday.
This
2
I don't
days
know.
ago.
I don't know if
is
Sauce wanted me to
crazy.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Can we tell them? Let's just tell them
What's
because they're not
happening
going
with
to
the
see
food?
it.
He already brought it up.
I'm bringing it up.
Go for it.
I thought
This
it was
is crazy.
super. It
Go
was
for it.
literally so 3 months ago, I'm with Francis and I'm with Sauce. And Francis is like, yo, man, let me get Bobby Canode's number. I was like, okay, give him his number. He texts Bobby. He's like, yo, man, I have this idea. I want to put Subrosa rails down El Toro and session it with the common dudes. And Bobby was into it. Shearer was into it. And next thing I know, I thought I was going to go on sooner than later. And then next thing I know, I come back to the second trip to Cali and they have all the Subrosa rails. Denim just got back from Barcelona the day before.
This was
And
like
we-
2 days ago, right?
Yeah, 2 days ago. So we went to this party. All the common dudes show up at Kayeke's house, and we're all partying. And someone mentions El Toro, and it just sparked. It just like ignited the flame.
Spontaneously rode the Subrosa rails down
I
El
watched
Toro
Julian Ortega.
the next
I
day.
watched Julian get on his phone and instantly just start texting everybody saying we're doing this tomorrow. And like he really put the plan into motion like heavily with the text messages, but everyone was into it. We wake up after a night of drinking. I wasn't really hungover, but I know a couple of
Buffed
dudes.
it out super hard
It
that
was
morning.
buffed. It was buffed
We
out.
really buffed it out. Not enough cars, way too many people.
And it worked.
Somehow got everybody to El Toro. Denim got off a plane 24 hours before.
And
It was
it was the craziest thing I ever witnessed. They put it up the rail and
the
put it up and down the rail. Denim made like gaps to rails, and the thank you dudes came out there. Spreet, Jared Duncan, all those dudes came out there, and it was honestly
Canode met up.
Canode was actually in California at the time, and he came out there and was with us. And
It was a session. It wasn't like a few clips.
dude,
We
all I
sessioned
know
it
is,
all day.
Is things that came to my mind was Alec did the most insane thing up the Subrosa rail. Travis Hughes, Jacob Cable. Oh, Jacob didn't really get down on it, but who was it? Justin Spreet.
Oh my god.
Julian, Ethan, dude, it just was such an insane session that it was just renewed. It made me feel so good about being with the common dudes because we just ride and have a
Just
great
a
time.
bunch
It
of
is a
fucking
good crew.
fun
It
every
is a
every
good
day.
crew.
Literally,
It's
I don't
a good
know-
crew of good kids.
I don't know if there's any bad words to say about them, if there's any bad things in the
Oh, I
industry.
can
but
tell you
they're-
a lot of bad
but
things
dude,
about these
they're-
motherfuckers. They
they're
make
humble.
very bad decisions. They're
Yeah.
good people. They make horrible
Is
decisions.
there gonna be? Is this gonna be like a webisode type thing or a little edit or?
Gotta talk to Francis about that one. He's
Yeah.
the one editing it up.
There's
so.
there's clips everywhere, honestly. But
Yeah, Canode's got clips. Thank you's got clips. We
Alright.
got clips. That's what.
Can
it
we
is.
get your thank yous before we wrap this up? Because we only got
Yeah,
a minute left on the camera.
Goalie Factory, Common Crew been helping me out so much. But and you guys, man, thanks for letting me do this podcast. RAR. Hey, if you care about your body and if you're hurting, if you need to heal up, drink some RAR because it'll help you. Scott Marceau's here. I love this dude.
Ohio.
Ohio, Midwest Dream. But no, it's yeah, man. I just want to thank you guys. I'm an unsponsored rider for having me on. This is like an honor in my
No,
heart,
yeah,
so.
I'm hyped. I mean,
It's like-
you're a young killer in the game. We just had Dan Crook on the other day.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
kind of a young
Cement
killer.
Cement face, dude. Those dudes are
Seaman face.
cement face. Yeah,
Hmm.
but
Fair enough.
but no, Morgan and all those dudes. Definitely shout out to those guys hooking me up with shirts and RAR. They just sent a package through the other day, but. Yeah, man, you guys really helped me out getting on this podcast.
Well, Matt, like literally, like I said earlier, mad respect to you because like you're one of the ones that has done it. You broke outside of the box. You moved out here
Yeah.
with a dream, and you're living it. So
yeah,
man,
just trying to
I
pursue it, man.
respect that.
I'm not gonna stop until I'm just not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep riding my bike, sponsored, unsponsored. I'm just gonna do whatever I can do to progress and get to hang out with my best friends, and that's what BMX is about, man. We get to have the best time and not have to worry about
There you go.
anything else. So yeah,
Tell them your Instagram.
Austin Augie, Common Days, Goalie Factory. At Tony Maloof, love him.
Shout out to Team Maloof.
Shout out to Team Maloof, dude. That would not be where I'm at right now without that dude.
I'm going out there to Arizona to get a fucking podcast going with him soon, I think.
I'm going out there.
He
I'm going out
convinced
there.
you to bring all this stuff to Arizona?
No, but we're about to have portable mics, and so as soon as I found that out, I was just like, shit, I got to start thinking of some good places that I can like do in driving distance to just camp out for a weekend, bang out a bunch of sick podcasts.
That's a great idea. Let's do the first one where we go to Indiana
No.
and we go hang out with the Amish people for a week.
Go to the goalie, go to the Hotel de la Goalie, interview J.E. and Westcott and Tony, and because those dudes, those are OGs. No,
Right.
I don't know if much.
And they
people
have
know
their own language, which I really appreciate.
Dog, yeah. If you don't know the goalie language, you got to get acquainted.
Wade Boggs. They have their own.
lingo.
They've renamed
Where?
so many tricks. Like
Where?
the bar spin isn't even called a what's the bar
Dar
spin
spin.
called?
It's
A dar spin.
I
dar spin.
don't ever heard that term. I think you just made that up.
No. Kaczynski,
Kaczynski isn't going.
Well, now it's a dar spin.
Now it's a dar spin. So
like a toboggan they call a Wade Boggs.
You know, Maloof has been on that shit for a long time.
Wyatt is like the main cause. Wyatt Earp. Or
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys, man.
Thanks, Austin Augie, for coming on the show. Thanks for Catfish and Sauce for co-hosting. And I think we now have another good opportunity. Denim Cox, we're going to have him back on.
Yes.
Maybe next week. We can
Straight killer.
knock him out.
Watch his Stranger edit.
Yes. And watch the Common video. The Common video
Common Crew and
just
BCN.
dropped today.
We're going to give you
Watch
much
that
more
video.
insight info into the Common BCN edit once we do
Soon.
the Denim Cox podcast. But make sure that you check for us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Thank you very much to Austin Augie.
Thank you.
And we will see you around on the internet. Thank you very much.
Skibidi bop a doo bop ba dee bop bob. The Come Up TV.
That wasn't bad.
That was fucking awesome.
Thank you.
I told you, it's just us talking.